Welcome to SVG-TV News for Friday, March 8th, 2019. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. The National Council of Women today joined the local and global community in recognizing International Women's Day 2019, celebrated under the theme Balance for Better. President of the Council, Beverly Richards, said the day is to reflect on all the struggles that women face and to recognize their achievements. Richards said the National Council of Women continues to do its part to ensure the rights of women and girls across SVG are protected.
It is an occasion for looking on past struggles and accomplishments and for looking ahead to the untapped potential and opportunities that await the future generation of women. The National Council of Women condemns statutory rape and other forms of sexual violence against women and children. We are calling on all the relevant authorities to do all within their power and authority to bring justice to the victims of these crimes committed against babies and children. We are also calling for the review of the new Domestic Violence Act. We are asking for a registry of sexual offenders, especially those who were convicted for statutory rape. And we are looking also for the change of the age of consent to 18 years.
Meanwhile, our news team caught up with some women today who spoke on the importance of the day, and they had a special message for other women who may be facing difficulties at this time.
Very mindful of what you think. Whatever your mind thinks, it tends to manifest itself. So I think women today, remember that we are strong, black, phenomenal women. When you look inside the mirror, always, it's for you to see that image of reflection in terms of, I am a strong, black, phenomenal woman, and I have what it takes to create positive changes, not only in myself, but also in my community. And it's something that comes from within.
I would like to congratulate all the women on their hard work and their contribution to society and their home. And I wish them God's blessing, and I wish that they will continue to work hard and elevate themselves and fulfill purpose.
Women are incredible. They are really incredible, making everything work everywhere in the world. Be yourself and do what feels right for yourself.
First thing, they must set a goal, and I believe that with God into their life, they will achieve all what they want to achieve. First, they have to surrender their life to Christ and set a goal, then work to achieve the goal that they set up. And as single parents, they are struggling from father and mother, and then they have to be focused, and I like them to stay strong and don't give up. Still fight on. Someday they will achieve all that they want to achieve.
32 schools today participated in the 5th Garifuna Schools Folk Festival at the Victoria Park. Organizers say this year saw an increase in participation, and they would like to see similar activities to be held throughout the year. Larissa Pugsley-Kidd tells us more in this report.
Students and teachers, all decked in their Garifuna colors, braved the rain to witness and participate in the 5th Garifuna School Folk Festival today. The event was hosted by the Garifuna Heritage Foundation, the Ministry of Culture and the Ministry of Education. Songs, dance, poetry and drumming all formed part of a packed program of performances seen on stage today at the Victoria Park. President of the Garifuna Heritage Foundation, David Darkey Williams, said he is pleased with the interest shown over the years by teachers and students for the Garifuna culture, but that there is room for improvement.
It is a heritage that we had lost and is now trying to reclaim or retrieve. And you are playing your part by participating in this event. So we are very grateful for that. I urge you to continue using Garifuna subjects and themes to do your creative lessons when you can, and to relate back to your Garifuna heritage and culture.
Cultural Officer Maxine Brown stressed the importance of children knowing their history and heritage of SVG. Brown said heritage activities should not only be confined to the month of March and should be held year-round.
Let us make our students knowledgeable and let us invest in teaching our youth our past history, our origin, our culture. For certainly, we don't want to be like a tree without roots, as Marcus Messiah Garvey will have admonished.
The cultural activities held today were judged under various categories. Awards will be handed out for the best dressed and most creative use of the Garifuna colors, the most outstanding Garifuna song, dance, choral speech, and costume. Schools that participated in the march will also be awarded for the largest, most organized, and best use of colors. Reporting for SVG-TV News, Larissa Pugsley-Kidd.
Meanwhile, a number of secondary school students at today's event at the Victoria Park showcased their interpretation of the Garifuna culture through various exhibits. For the students, the event was educational and informative and gave them a better appreciation of SVG's cultural heritage. We hear more in this report.
The exhibits ranged from food, artifacts, books, and crafts, all made and prepared by students from secondary schools in SVG. For some schools, it was their first time participating in such an activity. The George Stevenson Secondary School displayed items baked using cassava.
We have cassava cookie, cupcake, cake, and they were made by the students along with the teachers.
The St. Joseph Convent Mariacoa Secondary School reenacted a community of Chatouillet and his wife and the Garifuna way of life.
They have the students doing a tableau, which is basically a theatrical technique where they, as you see, they're free, they're frozen.
The West St. George Secondary displayed foods prepared by the home economics students that included everything made from breadfruit, while the St. Martin's Secondary School displayed artifacts and instruments used by the Garifuna people.
Stove starters, we have the typewriter, this is a very old camera. We have drummy beads which you put in shacks or you can make dolls in. You can also make them in necklaces. We have calabash over there. There are floppy disks and old phones.
The grammar school had the largest booth made by the Form 1 students as part of their history project.
Foods that they would consume, for example, bam bam and farine, all made from cassava, which one of the main dishes that the Garifuna would eat.
Garifuna huts that are made, some are made with straws, leaves and mud. The Garifuna people, they are outside and they are cooking, hence this fire.
The students and teachers agreed that the Garifuna culture needs an increased awareness to assist the younger generation to better understand SVG's history. Reporting for SVG-TV News, Larissa Pugsley-Kidd.
The elections petitions trial wrapped up yesterday, paving the way for the ruling by Judge Stanley John on March 21st at the High Court in Kingstown. Lead lawyers from both petitioners and respondents were pleased with the case they put forward. The petitioners' legal team, in their closing oral submissions, told the judge that the court would find that the 2015 elections were affected by the procedures that affected the final count, and the process was not in keeping with the representation of the People's Act and in some ways the Constitution. The respondents' legal team, on the other hand, were adamant that the court would also find that there were no grounds by the petitioners to show that the December 2015 elections were a sham and travesty, as is being suggested. The trial concluded 3 years after it was taken to court by the petitioners. Benjamin Exeter for Central Leeward and Lauren Batiste for North Windward. The respondents were Sir Louis Straker for Central Leeward and Montgomery Daniel for North Windward. The Sandy Bay Government School won the Sabota Caesar Challenge Trophy in the school's gardening competition. 18 schools participated in the competition, with the Adelphi Secondary School taking the second-place position and the Mustique Government School coming in third. Several other schools were commended for their efforts in the various categories, such as diversity, sustainability, and the use of technology. They were presented with farming equipment, seeds, and vouchers. Speaking at the prize-giving ceremony today at the Fisheries Conference Room, Senior Technical Officer in the Ministry of Agriculture, Coral Thompson Fergus, said the competition was designed to encourage youth participation in agriculture.
Walking through AICA, and that's why you have Mr. Dalton here represented. So we had there were three main objectives. One is to encourage the application of science, technology, engineering, and math, now known as STEM, to agriculture. To create an interest among students in agriculture. We talk about getting youth involved in agriculture, and we think the school is a good place to start. And to present a tool which can be used to enhance teaching and learning. The competition commenced in April of 2018. 26 schools registered, to participate in 3 categories: crop only, livestock only, or they had a mixed category with livestock and crops.
Senior Education Officer Joycelyn Blake Brown said the competition is a welcome one by the Ministry of Education and works well with the school's feeding program. She said it also helps the students to gain an appreciation for healthy foods.
If you visit our schools today, you'll be so proud of our school feeding program. As a matter of fact, school feeding has taken on a new look internationally and regionally. So much attention is given today to school feeding. And we are so proud with the menus that we offer in our school, and the fact that the Ministry of Agriculture has supported us and will continue to support us. It means that we can offer more nutritious meals to our students. Not only that, our students can actually plant what they eat. And as you know that the research will tell you that once the children plant what they eat, they're likely to eat more. You know, we have problems with students eating vegetables, and most of the school really focus on vegetable cultivation. So you know that our students will eat more vegetables, they'll be more alert, they'll be achieve more academically, so we are extremely pleased with the benefits.
The Senior Education Officer added that the program can also facilitate the next generation of farmers and improve food security here.
The school garden competition, and let it not just be a competition, let it be an area where the students can perhaps consider future careers in agriculture. I know we can have some potential farmers, you name it. Almost every single year our school have their career day exhibition, and students showcase many areas in agriculture. So I believe this competition will just harness the students' interest, and perhaps we may have some ministers of agriculture, you name it, technical advisors in agriculture, you name it. So it's a healthy competition, and also this will lead to sustainability of the project and ready available markets. You know, our students sometimes they prefer the foreign grown goods. So this is a way of getting the students to eat more locally grown produce.
Meanwhile, more schools have been encouraged to participate in the school's gardening competition. This encouragement comes from Senior Education Officer Joycelyn Blake Brown as she spoke at the award ceremony today. 40 schools were catered for, with 26 registering to compete. Only 18 schools made it to the end of the competition. The next competition is slated for later this year, and the Senior Education Officer said all schools should seize the opportunity to participate.
I'm a bit disappointed, I must admit, that we don't have more of the schools showing up this morning. I'm not quite sure for the reason for their absence, but nevertheless, we are pleased with the 18 schools that completed the competition. And as was already announced, we are hoping that for the 2019-20 year, that more schools will participate. So those of you who are here, please get your tools sharpened, get the land plowed, whatever you have to do, and competition time again next year. I would also like to mention this year, starting April to November 2019.
Also making remarks at the awards ceremony was Chief Agricultural Officer Ashley Kane, who who said agriculture is a scientifically driven industry and encouraged the students to apply their scientific knowledge to the gardening competition.
To wish all that is well and that we go forward and provide the requisite support, Coral, that would make us think or read 50 years from today. What started today became a beautiful flower and a beautiful thing for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So I want to wish everyone all the best, and particularly my students, learn everything you can. It is a world of science and other things like that. Agriculture itself is a scientific enterprise. All right, so we look forward to good things. And we could say I was there, or you could say you were there, when we launched such a program here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for our own development and benefit.
The Venezuelan Solidarity Movement was launched here yesterday at the Embassy at Morris Road. The Solidarity Movement consists of 6 different groups that are standing with the government and people of Venezuela against what they say is the interference of the U.S. in the country's internal affairs. The groups that are part of the Solidarity Movement are the Cuba Solidarity Group, the National Council of Women, the National Drum Movement, Unity Youths, the Venezuelan Vincentian Friendship Association, and Windward Islands Farmers Association, WINFA. Representatives of the various groups signed an agreement at yesterday's event to defend Venezuela's right to self-determination, the right to be free from interference and intervention in the country's internal affairs, the right to control and defend its people, natural resources, and to choose its system of governance and its path to development. The groups will also be joining with the International Solidarity Campaign, Hands Off Venezuela, to educate the public on Venezuela's current situation. Vice President of the Venezuelan Vincentian Friendship Association, Laura Stevens, said what is happening to the government and people of Venezuela should not be tolerated.
Now, how would you like to know that you have your... Yes, I'm not saying that there isn't any hardship in Venezuela. Yes, there is. But do you know who would have created most of that? America. And even though Trump was to leave today or tomorrow, it will happen again. Because it's just an American team. It's a system. They have wealth, but yet they want to capitalize on the wealth of others. Now, how can you say an elephant can trample a rat? Venezuela is a very small place compared to America. They would have issued statements of Venezuela being a threat in the past, and it was not true. But luckily, we as Vincentians and many other Caribbean countries, we stood up with Venezuela. So America had to back down. And today, you see what is happening? Yes, the Americans on the borders of Venezuela trying to get in.
Stevens said all Vincentians should stand up for Venezuela and other countries that have assisted and continues to assist with the development of SVG.
Programs that the USA has outlined to say, okay, well, we know they call us the small island. Let us see how we can help the small island. Because you see, I'm seeing that they have some struggle here. Maybe in education, in health, and whatever. We're not seeing that happening. But are the Venezuelans doing that? Yes. How many persons, I just a couple of weeks ago, when we were here having a meeting, we were introduced to some doctors, a group of doctors. Now, those doctors very soon will be conducting eye surgeries right here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Now, where did that program come from? Not America, Venezuela. Let's look at our power plant. And I can go on.
Member of the Unity Youths, James Gibson, said that the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines need to know the truth about what is really going on in Venezuela and do not get sidetracked by what is being fed through the media from the U.S. perspective.
Most persons would know
that Venezuela has the largest deposit of natural of crude oil and natural resources in the world. Leading behind Venezuela at approximately 40% lower is Saudi Arabia. And we know how wealthy Saudi Arabia has become because of oil and natural gas, of crude. So then why are you telling me that if Saudi Arabia can execute that, why is it not happening in Venezuela? Why? I'll tell you why. The United States has imposed sanctions on Venezuela. You see these problems that they're telling about, that they're reporting in the media about people starving, not being able to access certain health-related products or services. Ask them to tell us why that is happening in the first place.
The police have arrested and charged 22-year-old Alison Solin of Diamond with murder. The accused allegedly, with malice aforethought, caused the death of Howard Sheldon Bino, a 37-year-old laborer of Victoria Village, by shooting him about his body with a gun at Diamond December 6, 2018. Solin is expected to appear before the Serious Offences Court for a preliminary hearing. The police have also arrested and charged 40-year-old teacher Randolph Williams of Lomans Hill with theft. The accused allegedly stole $1,000 AC in cash from a 58-year-old domestic of Adelphi and 2 SVG passports valued $600, the property of the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, stolen at Egmont Street, Kingstown on December 31st last year. Williams is expected to appear before the magistrate's court to answer the charges.